I'm at the Purist Gallery in London's King's Cross with Emily Nkanga at her latest exhibition. Hello, Emily.
Hi. Hi,
Hi.
Sahr.
Tell us the name of your book and why you gave it that name.
The name of the book is Unyọñ Ufọk, and it means going home in Ibibio. Generally, it plays on the different aspects of the literal term going home. My dad passing on, that we say you transition into another home, like religion is seen as you going to a home that your father in heaven has made. And for me also going home, back home to actually see the culture, experience it in a different light that I hadn't done.
It must have been a difficult time for you.
Yes, it was.
So looking at your pictures, looking at the work, how much of that was affecting you whilst you were taking these pictures? And at what stages?
At the beginning of it, it was more documenting the culture, knowing that I would most likely not experience something like this again. As the days went by, there were loads of things that I started to know about my dad that I didn't know, and also just seeing the love the family was shown. I just felt like, oh, this is something I've not experienced, and I realized I actually would never experience this again because your father would die only once, and all
Right.
of these things will happen only once.
Sure.
And then I started to just document it for myself to be able to look back on. And also as a means of therapy to kind of like release a lot of the confusion days, as you said, that I was feeling at the time. To just trying to like, because after a while you're able to, when you look back, you're able to maybe piece things together, but at the time you don't really, you're not able to process it. So it was for me trying to do that at the beginning. And then as time went on, I started to understand that there was a lot of the culture that I didn't know, and I felt like I wanted to explore that a lot more, and I felt this was the beginning of starting to explore that, if I looked at it that way.
So I mean, the book lets us accompany you as you discover your journey home, as you discover home itself, and perhaps parts of yourself that you may not have been aware of. As our guide, can you take us through, I've sort of asked the question in a way, but take us through the journey and any surprises you might have had.
A lot of it was uncovering the things you know as a surface level. You know, okay, we have palm wine, but have you ever gone to see where they're actually tapping it, selling it? That kind of experience, actually like immersing yourself in the things you feel like you know, but you actually do not know that much. That, okay, I know we have the traditional rulers, but have you actually seen your king? Have you actually spent time in the palace? Do you know where the palace is? Do you know how they greet the king? All of those things, like, it was more like, okay, not trying to know the culture on the surface level, actually trying to engage in it. So that was, for me, I would say, like, there were, I wouldn't say they were like crazy surprises, but this were the things that I was like, okay, cool, this is actually like knowing a lot more about the culture and why they do certain things, and why is this festival happening at a certain time. Why does the king's guard wear the leopard skin? All of those questions, you find out that it dates back to many, many donkey years ago. And just understanding that, okay, even if time has evolved, there's a reason why these things are here right now. It's not just a costume, for instance.
Yeah, they look like warriors.
Yeah.
To me, anyway, just looking at your book, I noticed that, say, from page 88 onwards, it seemed like there was a movement from how you depicted things before then and how you depicted it after.
I think with the book, with the arrangement, it was more of like a progression of you ease people in, they understand what, like I said, an introduction, and then we start with music, which is quite like universal, people understand. That comes before, and then you have the text also where people can read and have a bit more understanding of the culture, of why things.
But doesn't it seem like you're engaging more from there onwards in the book? Like you're getting closer or getting more involved?
Yes, yes. Also, because also a lot of the images that were taken at the later end were images that I took later on in the project also. I'm starting to like engage a bit more, trying to say, okay, these are like the specific things I want to show about the culture.
So as Africans, our connections with our ancestors are very important. Did making this help you connect with your father, with your ancestors, with your community, with your family in any way?
Making this definitely helped with connecting with, would say, ancestors, the culture a bit more, understanding a lot more also, because I did quite a bit of research also, just reading and whatnot before and with taking the images. So it just makes you feel a lot more connected, closer, and not feel like you know things on a surface level. But yeah, it did make me feel like I know where I'm from, I know why certain things are done in a certain way. Yeah, I also understand why my father was a certain way. And yeah, it could also be quite forgiving, because you now understand like why certain decisions were made, and like, okay.
Do you think he'd be proud?
I think he definitely would be, for two different reasons. He really liked my work, but he also really loved his people. So I feel like that's a quite like a
that's
good,
a great combination.
yeah, combination. So.
The book has a documentary feel about it.
Yeah.
But I think listening to what you're saying, it's less objective than I would have thought, being on the outside and not having spoken to you. Looking at the book by itself, it seems to be a very objective view. I
do a lot of observing also, but I do try to engage with a lot of my subjects, and they know that I'm there, but I also let them breathe in a way where they can be themselves, and not feel like, oh, there's a camera hovering around me. So there's that blend, I would say, with my work. But it's definitely on the inside looking in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And speaking about your work, are contrasting styles a theme in your work? Would you say that this is a pattern depending on what it is you're working on, whether you're working on a commercial or you're working on personal or different projects? Every
project lends itself to what the images would be, but at the core of it, it's always portraiture, knowing people, connecting with people for me, and trying to understand them. Once I understand people, that also lends to what style of images I want to take. How do I want to show them, in what light? Do I want to show them really powerful, give them agency? Whatever strata of life I'm with, either documentary, everyday people, or commercial work, is about knowing them and trying to play to the strengths of my subjects. And that lends to the type of images I would take. But I feel like with documentary, commercial, what ties it every single time is the portraits of the people. You feel like I want people to look at the images and feel like they can connect with the people.
Is this an introduction to Africa, this book, or a person's discovery of their Africa? And how much were you influenced by the audience that you thought was going to see these pictures?
For me personally, it's a discovery of my Africa and where I'm actually from. But also knowing that I now live in London, I understand that it could be an introduction for certain people who come to see it. But it could also be a discovery for certain people who come to see it. Like when I did the exhibition also in Nigeria, which was the first place I showed the exhibition, because taking the story again, you want to give back to the people, take it back home, show it to them, allow them engage with it, give their approval first, and then you take it out to the world. For them, it's rediscovering. A lot of the comments we got from that exhibition was people actually like rediscovering even if they live in the community, a lot of them were just rediscovering a lot of things. So it's both sides, knowing that I was going to show the work on both sides of the world. It's discovering and also an introduction.
What are your takeaways from all of this?
It's a lot of planning as a creative. You plan and plan and plan, but it's actually in the doing, and to actually do it and get it done, and also get people to appreciate it and understand it and like it, and all of that. It's quite fulfilling. It also gives you the validation and encouragement that you can do this. Basically, we always think that.
Do you feel like a different person?
Not really. I feel like I can be a better person now, but not different. But I just feel like I should do better for the audiences that have come to see it.